position going on. Todd Butler continues to have David Hood down on the mat. Looks like David Hood has gone for some kind of arm bar.
Going for the arm bar again, Ned. See if Todd can escape that.
Todd does, yep. So as he does, he offers a little blow to remind him that he is the guy on top. Todd Butler continues to have some kind of advantage over David Hood, who's on the bottom. Hood, though, continues to throw strikes with his fist, with his heels to Butler's back, and just trying to find some way. There's an elbow to the back of the head, and at this point, keep in mind, this match is now over 9 minutes long. Joe?
Yeah, well, it's a long night here for these guys. It's pretty warm in here. Todd's trying to respond, but David gave him a few good shots, and these guys have to end this. They have a long night ahead of them.
Keep in mind, it looks like somebody is tapped out. David Hood has come from underneath as Todd Butler had enough. He taps out. David Hood, who looked like he was not in a favorable position, comes out the winner, but in a very long match. A match that lasted 9 minutes and 34 seconds, and that is not something you want to have on your record once you know that you have to fight later on tonight in the World Vale Tudo Championship, because keep in mind, as you win, you advance, and the more you win, the more you fight. And so you want to conserve your energy, but a nice technical type fight between Todd Butler and David Hood as we continue to take one more look at how this fight ended. So Todd Butler taps out. He had had enough. Submission for him. David Hood is our winner, but for the official announcement, Charlie Anzalone.
Time of the bout, 9 minutes and 24 seconds. The winner advancing on to the semifinals of the World Vale Tudo Championships from Boston, Massachusetts, David Hood. And let's give a hand to his opponent, Todd Butler of Kerwinville, Pennsylvania.
So David Hood is the winner of our third match here in the World Vale Tudo Championship, and Howard Petzler has him along ringside now for a post-fight interview. Howard?
In the guard, your physics properly aligned so the man on top actually wears himself out. He just hung in there, put some punishment on it, and Todd just couldn't hang with him.
All right, that sets up our fourth and final bout of the World Vale Tudo Championships in the quarterfinals. It'll be what I think, a great match, although I'll be surprised if this one lasts much past 2.5 minutes, because both of these guys like to work fast and like to work hard. They will be throwing their body all over that ring in Tokyo, Japan, inside the Tokyo Bay HK Hall, as the World Vale Tudo Championship continues. Of course, coming up a little bit later on, that super fight between the Brazilian champion Marco Ruiz, who is returning to the ring after a 7-month absence. He'll be fighting American Steve Ginham. But right now, it's Scott Grom, 6'2", 220 pounds. He's 28 years old, a married man who lives in the Bahamas. He is 18-0 in no holds fighting, and he has 17 by submission. So he knows a lot about grappling, and certainly will like to go to the mat very quickly against his opponent tonight in the World Vale Tudo Championships as we go into the final match of the quarterfinals of this tournament. His opponent, a man who, this guy, to me, defines street fighter. When you talk about Richard Red Hurd, you're talking about a man that knows that it goes without saying, anything goes, and he's going to use anything and everything it takes to win a fight. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, from the Los Angeles, Oakland area in California. He's married and says that, surprisingly, one day wants to be a stand-up comedian. But believe me, there is nothing funny about the way that Red Herd fights in these anything goes tournaments. Now let's go to our ring announcer, Charlie Anzalone, to introduce our fighters.
To be the final, quarterfinal bout in the World Vale Tudo Championships. Our first fighter out of the blue corner. He is a submission fighter. He is undefeated and weighing tonight at 220 pounds, all the way from Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome, Scott Groff. And his opponent fighting to my red, to my right in the red corner, wearing black trunks. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler. He is a freestyle ground fighter. He is undefeated, weighing tonight at 230 pounds. He is 29 years old, representing the state of California, Richard Red Herd.
Gentlemen, I saw Red Herd in Kiev in Ukraine in a fight very similar to this. It took 1 minute and 4 seconds. He put his opponent in the guillotine. In fact, his opponent tapped out once. The referee didn't see it, held the guillotine, and got another tap. So he got a submission in 1 minute and 4 seconds. So again, I don't think this is a match that will take very long. Both of these fighters will go all out, as you can tell. Right now, Scott Groff had him in a headlock. He gets Red escapes. Now he has Groff on the ground, looking for some kind of submission advantage, trying to find some kind of way to end this fight right away. Try to get it over quickly. Scott Groff on his back. Richard Herd has him mounted from the side. And John, what do you see going on right now?
Well, I see that I have two heavy fighters and they move pretty fast. So, now we have the mount or the guard? Joe?
Right now we have the mounted position by Red. This is a bad position for Scott. Red's a pretty big guy. He's starting to do some damage, but Scott's doing the right thing. He's staying nice and tight. These punches aren't doing anything.
Red going with the fist to the back of the neck, the elbows to the back of Scott Groff, who again hails from the Bahamas. Richard Red Herd from the Oakland, California area in the United States. And right now he has it mounted, going to start wailing away at Scott Groff, and Scott Groff is tapped out. This match is over. Richard Herd has this match ended. The time will be, again, 1 minute, 4 seconds. I said before the fight ended, this fight in Kiev lasted 1 minute, 4 seconds. He's lasted 1 minute and 4 seconds, just like he did in the Ukraine against the Russian fighter over there in an anything goes fight. So again, let's go and look at how this fight ended and how Red Herd got the win. Now for the official results of this fight, let's go to our ring announcer, Charlie Anzalone.
The time of the bout, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Advancing to the semifinals of the World Vale Tudo Championships from California, Big Richard Red Herd. And let's hear it for his opponent, Scott Groff, all the way from Nassau, Bahamas tonight.
So our semifinals is now set. It will be Richard Herd against David Hood and Michael Pachorik against Fred Floyd. Howard Petzler alongside Richard Herd right now.
ブレッド・ザ・マンクラー・フロイド選手対マイケル・パチョリック選手。第2試合はデイビッド・フット選手対リチャード・レッドハート選手となりました。
Witness the challenge of a lifetime where the sole requirement is the will to survive. Vale Tudo competition. Welcome to Brazil, where Christ the Redeemer himself peers over Rio de Janeiro, guarding its passionate people with his wide embrace. Brazil's splendor is marveled at by all who visit it. This enchanted land of constant summertime, drenched in sultry and sensual sweat, consists of 160 million people from different races, including Portuguese, Italian, Indian, and African. Considered one of the premier spots on the globe for sun lovers, Rio de Janeiro's miles of sandy beaches are legendary for their beauty. The beaches remain open nearly year-round, The blood of its people runs hot, and the heart of the nation's obsessions are bound in the flesh and its many hedonistic pleasures. Brazil's most loved and popular sport is soccer, and the country owns the largest stadium in the world, the Maracanã. The nation's prime source of entertainment, soccer draws the largest crowds. Brazil has created the world's best players in the history of the sport. Carnival, the largest party in the world, makes the country's streets an endless celebration of life, color, and music for 4 solid days in the month of February. The lethal fighting system of capoeira was created by African slaves and disguised as a dance to avoid discovery. Martial arts has once more captured the international spotlight and aimed it at this thriving nation. Vale Tudo competition.